We're back. Before the break, I laid out a case of why University of Pennsylvania trans swimmer Lia Thomas clearly has an advantage now competing against women. She had a terrific weekend at the NCAA Championships. And I'm joined now by Karleigh Webb, Outsports contributor and the host of the podcast, The Transporter Room. Karleigh, thank you very much for coming on the show, and thank you for listening to my whole rant in the previous block and letting me wait until this block to give you a chance to respond. So do you believe that Lia Thomas does not have a biological advantage over her competitors?
I believe that Lia Thomas is a three-time All-American and a national champion, Dan, and that's what we really should be talking about. What we should be talking about is the great job she did in the 500 free. What we should be talking about is how dominant Virginia looked all week. The Cavaliers had the field covered. What we should be talking about is all this great young talent that is going to make the 2024 U.S. Olympic Trials one lit swim meet as we pick a team for Paris. That's what we should be talking about. But instead, we're talking about lies, innuendos, rumors about a very good college athlete in Lia Thomas. And quite frankly, Lia Thomas has taken enough of the vitriol. Let this girl smell her flowers, please.
Well, let me ask you, did I say anything that was a lie or an innuendo with regard to Lia Thomas? I think I was pretty straight in laying out the story, no?
For the entire season, Lia Thomas has been met with vitriol. She's been met with rumor, with people speaking anonymously and claiming their silence. She was the target of a peeping Tom in Florida hired by the Daily Fail to get shots of her and her teammates in her swimsuits. That was sick and kind of pervy to me. She's taken every hit in the jaw that you can take, and she's come up winning. And that's what I prefer to look at. She's a national champion and a three-time All-American, and you don't have to give her love, but I will.
No, well, but can I both believe that everything you said is true and also believe that she has an enormous physical advantage because she was born as a man?
Well, first off, let's get that born as a man stuff out of the way. She's a woman. Trans women are women. And I know that you're trying to say man, 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 because that's the playbook, no. Dan. The first part of the playbook is say that transgender women aren't women and cisgender women stink at sports. That's what the playbook is. Well, we're not buying that playbook tonight, Dan. We're not running that. Run that playbook
I've referred to her as a woman. I've referred to her as a woman in every instance. You may have, but a lot of people aren't.
And the fact of the matter is you feel the need, you and other commentators feel the need to continually talk about man this and man that every chance you get. Cut it out, please. Seriously.
All right. So the answer to my question, though, is you don't think that it's connected, right? It's an unfair question for me to even ask as far as you're concerned.
Well, here's the question. You want to talk about unfair. Let's talk about unfair for a second. In your mind, what was unfair about her competing this weekend?
Look, we could get into what the rules are via USA Swimming, whether it's enough time to be on hormone therapy, et cetera. The science is very unclear as to because we don't have studies yet, et
when
cetera.
It comes down to
but I can tell you one thing.
The NCAA
but I'll tell you what's unfair.
Had rules and regulations on. Okay, tell me what's unfair, Dan. Let me hear this.
She adhered to the NCAA rules and regulations. I'm not saying she cheated. I'm saying
she also adhered to the previous FINA and IOC regulations. That was part of the deal when they changed the rules.
She didn't cheat. Let's be really clear. She did not cheat. No one here is alleging she. Let's agree. She did not cheat. But I'm asking the question simply whether it's unfair, whether the rules are inappropriate. And when I ask the question about her having an advantage physically, you accuse me of being, of asking an unfair question, an inappropriate question. No?
What I'm saying is, what I did say was, everybody feels the need to talk about, quote unquote, when she was a man, when she was a male swimmer. Everybody has to go back to that. I think the proper term here is pre-transition. I can run with that. But this idea, transgender women are always painted with this brush, and it's annoying. Now, let's talk about fairness for a second, Dan. This is what fair means in an athletic contest. Were the lanes the exact same length for everybody? Did everybody swim 500 yards? Was there a false start? Did somebody get a contract with Mercury Marine to get an outboard motor? The answer to most of those questions is no, and the answer to the question of the distance they swam is yes. That's
But you-
where that's
but you
the
could
only
ar- but you
place
could argue-
that's fairness. After that,
Right,
it's
but in
about your
response-
training, it's about your coaching,
But-
and it's about the talent you bring to the table. And let me tell you,
All right.
Leah's bringing some talent, but so are the people that she fought against. Let's talk about who's in that
But hang on a
500
sec.
free.
Hang on a sec. But
Emma
using your
Wyant,
example,
Erica
using your
Sullivan,
example-
an Olympian,
Right,
she
hang on
beat
one
3
sec.
Olympians. Give her love.
one sec. But using your example of, they're swimming in the same lane, they've all got arms. You could say men and women should be competing against each other, right? Using that argument of people being in the lane, they're just talent, et cetera. You put men and women together, and you just see how it goes.
Well, see, here's the thing.
final
We're
word.
not talking about men versus women. Men don't compete against
I
women. That's a
understand.
moot point.
Saying you can make the
what
same
I'm talking
argument,
about
though.
is Lia Thomas. What I'm talking about is Lia Thomas, by every metric and every rule, was eligible to compete.
All right. That's true.
The
She was. Karleigh,
NCAA ranking that she was eligible to compete, and she competed. She was first in the 500 free in a great race. She was also fifth in the 200 and eighth in the 100. That's not. You want to talk about dominance? You need to talk about Virginia. That is what dominance
Karleigh,
looks like. That whole team was awesome.
You get the final word. I'm quiet now. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan.